Frag Attack Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. Here with you today are your boys, Pradius,
Matterafact,
and J to the Ray, baby.
So first we want to get those plugs out there.
Oh, we do?
You know.
Oh,
and
okay. We're going to get those plugs out there.
Who's super awesome at doing those?
All right. Well, of course, Happy Gamer.
Happy makes you happy.
Gaming news and reviews, Game On, Game RSS, and you can find pretty much all of those on Android. Game On is not on Android, it's on iOS and Windows. Shouts to Troy.
Gaming news and reviews, Android and iOS.
Yep.
Happy Gamer on pretty much everything.
The big dog. We kind of lost some there for a couple fell off the face of the earth.
The old ones, yeah, World of Video Game News.
But we re-upped.
Yeah.
We re-upped. So also Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, iTunes, Stitcher,
Tune in.
the whole shebang, you know.
Find us everywhere.
Subscribe, follow.
And if you want to get that episode 15 seconds before it goes up everywhere else, fragtagradio.com is the only way. The only way.
With a fresh server.
So, moving in. We've all played the Destiny beta. And just wanted to kind of go through, get our thoughts on it. And then I also asked the fans on Twitter what their thoughts on it were. And we'll kind of go over a few of those as well. And see if we can find ourselves a consensus on the subject.
Gotcha. Sounds good to me.
Start it off, Jay.
Well, I personally liked it, although I don't know if I was super impressed with it. I mean, I guess I just had super high hopes for it, and then my hopes kind of went down. And then, you know, right after the latest demos and stuff, they kind of went back to medium. And I would say that although it didn't quite impress me to the peak of my expectations, it was good. It definitely wasn't a game that
wasn't trash.
Yeah, it wasn't. And you know, I think it's going to sell very well because you know, it's still Bungie and it's a popular game. But I will say that I worry about some issues with it, especially the PvP, like the balancing issues.
Horribly unbalanced in the beta.
And we kind of, you know, we had those worries for a while now. I know we've talked about it on the show, and they were proven right, to be honest with you. I loved the way that the PvP was set up, but it's so unbalanced that it was really not even fun to play at the time. But that being said, I see a lot of promise. And, you know, of course we haven't played the full game, and you know, I played, I'm sure all of us here played all the story missions.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that I think this game, when it eventually does come to a sequel, will really benefit, because I think they had to throw so much into this title and build it all from scratch that they you could see some parts of it that were a little boring and bare. Yeah. Especially on the first Earth missions in Russia and stuff. There were long, vast stretches where there wasn't nothing.
A lot of missions kind of felt the same, too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They did. Of course, you know, again, this is a beta. So take all this with a grain of salt.
The beta would have benefited from, instead of doing the first 5 missions in order, like skipping around, gave us the first mission, the 7th mission, the 10th mission, the 17th.
That would have been cool, just to give us a better idea of what the whole game is about. Yeah. But I can see why they wouldn't do that, just simply because of the story spoilers.
Right.
You know? But, yeah. I liked it a lot, and I really liked the tower, going around the tower. There's so many things to do at the tower, just like things we couldn't even touch yet. You know, like the ships and stuff like that, the shipwrights and all that, and, you know, a lot of stuff. The postmaster, just... It was cool, but I guess the best thing that I liked about it is, even when you're not, and I think it's already actually said the exact same way in the outline, but even when you're not playing with friends, you are never playing alone.
Yeah, there's always other random people.
I love that, because I've never been a big co-op guy, but it forced me to always play co-op, and you always see somebody running around and you go over and help them. Yeah. And I like the community events too, how just it seems like hundreds of people come into the game all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I definitely like the community events when there's like a random bad guy that shows up and everyone's got to work together to take him down.
Did you have the one where you had to chase that guy?
Chase? No, I didn't do a chase.
There was one that this guy ran and you had to catch him and kill him, but within a certain amount of time, and he's like running, and I didn't get him. but he ended up going into a cave and getting away. But there was several different types that I saw, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. As far as the story missions, they all pretty much took place on Earth, unless you got access to the moon mission, which is only available for 2 hours, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it was just kind of all 4 or 5 missions you could play. But all of them were pretty much go here, get this item, survive against the fallen. Mission over.
One of them was like a strike mission.
Well, yeah, that wasn't part of the main campaign.
Yeah, no, I know, but it was one of the things.
Separately, there was one strike mission available, and that was actually my favorite part of the whole beta. I played that one strike mission like 35 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only played it once. But
it was the best way to get rare item drops.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Did you see that there were a lot of monsters in the actual Earth part of the game that you could find if you looked? And they had level ? And no matter what gun you had.
No, it wouldn't even dent their life.
It said immune.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff like that in the game that we couldn't even touch yet. And there's a lot of areas that you couldn't even get to. And there's secret areas. Mad secret areas that I didn't even know about until I saw videos. Like, there's one protected by one of those immune things, but you can sneak around and drop in behind him. And it's like a whole vast underground like canyon. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff, and you can just imagine what the whole game is going to have. And the upgrade options were sweet. You can upgrade everything, and it seems like that your character will have a lot of cool abilities by the time you're done.
Yeah, and then see, it's weird because I saw I played with when you start out, you get that one generic ship at the very beginning of the game.
Right.
I actually I was playing with someone, jumped in my game, had a different ship than I did.
Yeah, I did too. I ran into somebody had a different ship.
And then you also get the little hover bike thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I ran into another player who had this other thing that had like these 2 guns on the side, but they were like these arms that would like fling missiles or whatever. It was crazy.
Go into your inventory and you go to your hover bike, there's actually like 7 or 8 slots for you to carry.
I was trying to figure out how they unlocked that stuff.
I don't know.
Because I mean, obviously you didn't have to do it by leveling up. It was done some other way.
Well, maybe by
because they were still level 8, but they had unlocked it somehow.
What are those guardian chips or whatever?
Right.
Maybe by playing a lot of PvP and getting guardian chips or Vanguard chips or whatever. It's a possibility.
It could have been a PvP thing because I played. I think you're required to play 2, maybe 3 matches of it to progress to the last story mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I played those, and that was it. That was all. I'd seen enough.
Yeah, well, that was the interesting thing to me is when you play PvP, you get those guardian chips or whatever, and you basically can use those to buy legendary weapons and items, which you carry over into the regular game and the PvP portion. So. Right. I still have major questions on how they're going to balance.
I think this game could be major competition for Dance Central. I mean, I think Dance Central better look out because I was in a dance off with like 17 other people on the tower or whatever it's called. So that was good times. And the strike missions and the dance off. Those are my 2 best memories.
I hope they throw more emotes into the game.
There was only 4.
Yeah, and
the salute, the point, the dance, and the
I'd like to see like 20, 30 of them and be able to load them into those 4 slots to the D-pad.
Switch them out.
Yeah. That'd be something I'd like to see. But I gotta say, it definitely was good. I enjoyed it. I can see myself having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
It is.
I see myself probably playing it till I beat it. And then probably won't go back to it.
Well, I think that's a possibility for me, too. It all depends on if they can get the balancing right for PvP. Yeah. If they can make PvP Halo-ish, or put the Halo touch on it, which I still have faith that they can do. I just know that there's going to be major challenges.
Because, to me, even without the balancing, the multiplayer just seemed very generic.
It did.
There was nothing special about it. There was nothing different about it. And
it seemed like a watered down.
On top of it being unbalanced, it just wasn't that great.
Yeah, well, I only played the one map. So is there only one map in there? Two maps. But I mean,
I think both the maps are on the moon though.
There was certainly nothing special about it. I did enjoy having the powers and stuff. So
doing the ground smash. And
Yeah,
all that.
I enjoyed having all that.
Even those were Halo moves.
Halo moves.
Yeah, the ground smash.
Yeah. What class did you play as?
The warrior.
I played as a warlock, and I was shooting fireballs. And
Solomon plays warlock too.
I love the warlock. I really do. And
I play as commando class. And anytime any class based game I play,
I usually do too. Class. And I usually in RPGs play as a warrior.
Like Borderlands, I play as the commando.
And I did that in Mass Effect too. And that's typically the route I always go. But with this being Destiny, and part of the draw to it was having these abilities and stuff from the Traveler or whatever.
Even in RPGs like Dragon Age, I always went the warrior route.
Yeah. The first time I ever strayed from the warrior was actually Dragon Age 2. I went rogue. And I'd never done that before, and I loved it.
But see,
just playing the game differently.
The rogue, the rogue was cool because he was kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
He was good at the regular combat, and he had some magic too.
And he had the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I enjoyed the rogue. And I think when Dragon Age Inquisition comes out, I'll play as the rogue. And but anyway, the warlock, it kind of, it just gives you more special abilities. You have that hover ability, which is immensely helpful when you're getting raided by those swarming lurker enemies or whatever that just come up on you. And, you can just hover up above them just to regen some health and then go down. And that helps a lot. But, enjoyed it. Gonna play as the warlock probably when the real game comes out.
So from what you played, what did you think?
I thought, I was agreeing with you when I was saying it was really kind of generic feeling. I mean, it just didn't have enough character in it yet to grip me. I mean, I could play it, and I've enjoyed playing it, but would I want to actually come back to it? No, not really. Not right now.
Speaking in terms of the PvP or the game in general?
Just the game in general, to be honest.
Yeah.
It definitely had some bare
I mean, there was
parts,
but
the art style is also kind of bland.
That's what I was kind of turned me off the most, because it's like, we've already seen this before.
Yeah, but for me, it could have just been the whole Earth thing, where Earth is pretty much like a desert with mountains.
Well, you did say that the moon felt way better than Earth.
It did.
I wasn't all that impressed with the environment of Earth either, and that's kind of what I wanted out of Destiny, was these unique planetary thing, exploration you haven't seen. And I guess you're right. Kind of throwing you on Earth is kind of like, okay, well, this feels like, a futuristic shooter on Earth. Yeah. It didn't have, and I guess part of the draw.
Even Earth, I was thinking like trees, tropical, even tropical. It was just like pretty much desert.
Well, it's supposed to be a wasteland, but But the good news is there's Venus, there's Mars, there's the moon, and there's one more.
Pluto?
No. Not Pluto. There's like an asteroid belt too.
Oh.
Milky Way?
Milky Way's our galaxy.
I don't know.
I can't think of the name of the guy. But anyway, so we'll see some.
Orion's belt?
No. Just keep chucking them out.
Yeah, just one of these days you might land on it.
Just think of some random space stuff and throw it out there.
I think it's like the rings of Saturn. It's like an asteroid field.
So you're doing the same thing I would. We're just throwing stuff out there.
No, it's like an asteroid field through the rings of Saturn. It's an asteroid belt that you're actually going to go on, and it's like in between Venus and Saturn, I believe. So.
Doesn't Voyager do something like that in the intro of Star Trek Voyager? It like rises up to an asteroid.
Yeah, it does.
Rings of Saturn.
Like gaseous nebula.
I'm calling Bungie, and they're biting it.
But So before we get into what the fans said about their feelings on it, I want to go over the Mars mission real quick.
Mars?
The Mars mission.
The moon?
The moon, yeah. Ha!
Carried away.
I'm so excited for Mars. It's going to be red. I hope it doesn't look like Earth, but red.
Oh.
That would be upsetting.
Well, I don't know if that would be possible, because on Earth there was all like these.
That's what I'm saying, because Mars is supposed to be a barren planet too, and Earth is pretty bare and barren in Destiny. So I'm just wondering, how are they going to differentiate it?
But I guess Earth, you could see the remnants of past civilization. You wouldn't see that on Mars. It'd be more like open.
See, that was another thing with Earth. It was more like a random structure here, random structure there. But
you could see boats and shit.
I didn't see remnants of like a whole village or city or
civilization.
Well, you got to remember, it takes place in a old shipwright, a shipyard in Russia. So how much would you really see there? You know,
I guess you're right.
You saw boats laying around and these big plants.
Which is another thing. Before I start talking about the moon mission, I was reading that you're only going to get to play one portion of each planet. That they've selected a certain part of each planet, and there'll be a few missions there. But you won't get to get, like, if you don't like this part of the planet, you're just going to have to be shit out of luck because you're not going to the other side of the planet or anywhere else.
Yeah, and again, that's why I think Destiny 2 will benefit largely because I don't think they didn't have enough time to build everything from scratch and fit all this in. I think maybe in Destiny 2 we might see like space combat with your ships. You might be able to explore larger portions of these planets. And, it's kind of like Borderlands and Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 was such a major step up from Borderlands. But Borderlands was a good game. Not that it wasn't. I'm just saying they were able to add so much more.
The script was way better in Borderlands 2 also. Yeah. Handsome Jack really helped carry
it. Yeah, definitely. And what other games too, like Mass Effect 1. And how they really expanded upon it on Mass Effect 2. They stripped down some other parts,
Mass Effect 3 was great, but I still consider Mass Effect 2 to be the best one.
Yeah, I think so, too. Speaking of which, did you see the SDCC Mass Effect panel?
How they were bringing back the Mako.
The Mako and all that, yeah.
And whoever you're playing as, he is an N7 operative.
They're like, hey, ask us anything. And every question they ask,
see this,
we can't answer that right now.
We can talk about Mass Effect in a minute, because there's a few things I'd like to say about that. But, so anyway, the moon mission. I was actually in the middle of playing a strike mission with a buddy of mine, and we finished, and when we got back to the main map, I saw the moon was blinking. And I was like, that's weird. All the missions on the moon are locked. But it was blinking, so I went there, and sure enough, it was playable. So I was like, oh, shit. So went down. You start out like on the outskirts of like a structure. I won't want to call it a village, but it's a lot more populated than Earth was. It isn't just one structure here and a bunch of land and then another structure over there. There was actually a bunch of structures connected together. It felt like people had been there.
That's part of the Destiny thing is Earth, because of the Traveler and the darkness or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of desolated Earth to the point where people have had to evacuate, and the only safe haven on Earth is really this tower.
Right, but see, the story is supposedly the Fallen arrived on the moon first, and the humans gave up the moon, hoping that the moon would be enough for the Fallen to suffice them so that they wouldn't attack Earth. But it wasn't enough, so they eventually left the moon and came and took us down here. At least that's what I gathered from the beta.
So we had colonized the moon.
Yeah, originally.
Yeah.
But, so anyways, you go to access a panel, and you fight some Fallen while you're, defending the panel. And then you're tracking a guy, another Guardian, and the panel gives you a hint to his whereabouts. So you leave that area and you start traveling farther across the moon, and all along the way, you run into enemies who are riding on the hover bikes, similar to the Sparrow, but they had guns on them. They kind of reminded me of the Scorpion from Halo.
Oh,
it's the Scorpion bikes with that big giant wheel on the front.
Yeah.
Except they had guns. And if you kill the enemy on it, you can actually hop on it and take control of it. And it felt really good shooting the guns. I enjoyed driving that thing way more than the Sparrow. The Sparrow, I think, could use some tweaking because...
Well, it's just essentially a travel vehicle. There's no combat related.
It tumbles and it rolls, and you can just never keep that thing.
I actually got pretty good with it by the end of my time with the beta. But yeah, at the beginning, I was struggling. I was all over the place, But I once I learned that don't try to turn with the left stick at all. Just change the camera.
Oh, yeah.
It really made it easy, Because at first I wanted to use the left. When I would go to turn left, I would want to take my left thumb and slightly turn it towards the left and then move the camera. But once I learned, it's like it just follows the camera. So
that camera's where it goes,
once you learn that, it's actually a lot better.
Well, so anyways, after that, you're riding on your new bikes, and you go to another structured area with a bunch of structures connected together, and you find another little thing, and you access it, and it tells you where the Guardian is. Again, then you go to this next third area, and once you get there, it's like the outside of a temple with a giant door. It almost reminded me of some Dragon Age or Mass Effect type-ish, because you go there and it goes to a cutscene because the Guardian who you were looking for is on the ground dead right outside the door. So then your ghost, what's your ghost name? He doesn't have a name. He's just Ghost. He accesses the door and like
His name's Thurman.
all the markings on the door start lighting up or whatever, and then like the door like slowly opens up.
What'd it do?
Yeah, that sound. Do that again.
You like
I
it?
really like that.
And so you just fight your way in and fight some more guys inside this temple thingamajig, and you get to another thing and you access it, and then the mission's over.
Temple thingamajig, then you get to another thing.
I mean, that's pretty. That's why I had this my biggest plan about Destiny is that everything feels the same. It's like, okay, go here.
It definitely
Put your ghost inside this thing. Defend against the fallen while your ghost access it. You leave. Go to the next thing.
Yeah.
Defend it while the fallen are coming and defend your ghost, and then you do the same thing like a million times.
Yeah, especially once it gives you those small missions where you find the beacons and stuff at the end. And another thing, too, is that you can definitely feel the MMO approach to this because the missions end abruptly.
Yeah. And
it's just like just not overwhelmed with story. There's not a lot of story in it, at least not yet. And, in MMOs, it's almost kind of like, go get a quest. Go do the quest. Come back, turn it in.
I think the game could have benefited from some more cutscenes.
Yeah, well, that would give it more character. I think that's probably what's missing, but maybe they probably just didn't have time. Again, it's so much in this game, but yeah, I agree. I think it could definitely use some cutscenes. Yeah, they don't have to be real sophisticated cutscenes. Just show your character up close, show them doing the shepherd lip sync.
Supposedly, at launch,
maybe give them
there's going to be a total of 140 missions. That includes 32 story missions and 23 strike missions. And then plus including other activities
like
on top of the story missions and the strike missions, there'll be 148 total.
That doesn't seem like a whole hell of a lot. I mean, the 148 I guess does, but when you start talking about the 32 story missions, that really doesn't sound...
Considering how short those missions are.
I know. And, I'm sure that this game's going to be littered with content.
I'll probably play the strike missions over and over, realistically.
It's going to be littered with content.
There's 23 of them.
Well, it's going to be similar to the strike missions are essentially your raids, I guess, for your MMOs. That's what it is. So yeah, as long as you're being like in Diablo, you're being littered with good content. I mean, like equipment, legendary equipment and stuff, and you're always able to get something new. I could see where I could stick around after beating it. But it's got to keep me coming. It's got to keep giving me something new,
Every time you play, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and the strike missions seem to do that. Because I would play a strike mission, I would get a cool rare item, but you don't know what it is. Because it's kind of like Diablo. You have to identify the item. You have to go back to the tower.
The Ingram or whatever. The Ingrams.
And you approach that guy, and then he identifies what the item actually is. Yeah. Then you can start using it. That guy, he's like the Deckard Cain of Destiny. But... yeah, I mean, overall, I'm definitely gonna get the game and play it. I'm kind of the same place you are. I wasn't buying into the hype before I played the beta. I was actually thinking it was gonna kind of be kind of balls. And then,
I know you did.
Once I played the beta, I was like, all right, it's not so bad. It's nothing groundbreaking, not great, but it's not so bad, and I actually kind of enjoyed my time with it. So. I'm where you are now. I'm in the middle. I'm not where I was before thinking it's balls, but I'm not thinking it's the greatest thing since sliced bread either. I'm just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and I could be swayed either way based on the full game. So
yeah. All right. Well, according to the fans, let's see. Love the feel and story parts, not so much the PvP. We pretty much said the same. Not blowing my socks off, but is really fun. Wish there was more of a story. Music, fantastic. All right.
And again, I don't... That's why I keep comparing this to Borderlands 1, because Borderlands 1 had that same approach. Very little story. It was almost content. Yeah. And, I feel like, again, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I feel like Destiny 2 will really raise the bar in that regard.
I'm sure that's a few ways off.
Oh, it's...
Because they're talking about supposedly supporting this game for 10 years.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wow.
Well, and again... That Destiny 2 is years and years away. The first one isn't even out yet. I'm just saying that kind of related to Destiny 1, that's why we're lacking in some.
Well, that's why I see all these fans on these forums talking about, because people talking about how the DLC that PlayStation exclusive be coming to Xbox a year later. I'm like, I'm not playing that DLC. I'll have moved on from Destiny.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A year after it comes out.
But then again, there are gamers like my old roommate who... I'm not like that. I'm not this type of gamer, but he tends to get a game. He did it with Dead Island of all games. He tends to get a game and for years just plays that game and beats it 4 or 5 times. And
I'm that way with Gears whenever a new Gears comes out, except for Judgment.
Yeah, but I tend to get all I can out of a game, and then I just want to move on to another one. But I guess we're different because we play almost all the games that come out, whereas he kind of just finds a game he likes and gets his money worth. That's for sure. Yeah. Speaking of which, he was extremely ecstatic when Plants vs. Zombies is now coming out for PS4.
I'm sure he was.
Because remember how much he liked it when you came over?
So it was the other roommate who you got to get an Xbox One.
Yeah, the other one.
I guess he'll be playing as the Sly Cooper Plants vs. Zombies guy.
I guess so.
That's the PlayStation exclusive for Plants vs. Zombies guy I'm working around there. One of the characters looks like Sly Cooper.
Sure, is he ecstatic?
All right, so Destiny, another guy, very impressive. Loving the cooperative elements while exploring. Even if you're playing by yourself, you're never alone. Which we're pretty much I'm torn on it. Gunplay is pretty fun when it gets going, but a lot of the time, slow moving. Objectives are pretty boring. And then another guy, loving PvE at the moment. Not sure about PvP. Need time to adjust as people have reached level 5 and stayed on it.
Yeah, because that's balancing. Again, it's a little overwhelming when you first jump in.
Yeah,
you're gonna get this is not a game where skills are going to get you by at first. You're going to get your ass handed to you the first time you play.
That's kind of how Gears is. Yeah. The first time you play Gears, it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to die many times.
It's just learning curve.
And this, especially when it's not just shooting, it's not just reflexes, it's learning all the powers and all the... I mean, with every shooter, there's a learning curve learning the maps, but even more so in this one with the powers and stuff coming in from everywhere and how the ammo's approached.
That was one thing how I kind of liked about Titanfall. Titanfall was a game that anybody could jump in and play.
Yeah. Well, it's because it had that Call of Duty feel to it,
Yeah. Plus, there's the grunts and the specters, so even if you're dying over and over, you're still getting kills. And you feel like you're doing something.
I feel like if you are a Call of Duty veteran, you were always going to be good at Titanfall,
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah.
But, all right, so I asked the fans to drop us some questions for the show that we could possibly answer. So going through... On September, Xbox One will be released in China for the first time since the 14-year ban. Xbox One will also be released in Japan and 27 other countries. How do you guys think this will impact Xbox? Can the Xbox reach PS4 in sales after this is done?
We'll see. I still think, Xbox is definitely on the right track, and Phil Spencer is doing a good job.
He is.
But if anybody knows how big of an uphill climb it is once you fall behind a little bit, it's Sony, because with the last generation... they fell behind. I had a lot of catching up to. I will say that I feel like Microsoft has handled it a lot better this generation than Sony did last generation.
Right.
But I have no complaints whatsoever with it. To me, it doesn't matter, because if Xbox is always slightly behind PlayStation, we're always going to get great stuff from Microsoft, which is because they're going to always be trying to make that leap ahead of them. Right. So I'm cool with right where they're at. As an Xbox owner, I kind of like that they're behind Sony a little bit in sales, because, I don't feel like they're behind Sony as far as content, but I feel like as long as they're behind them in sales slightly, that doesn't affect me at all.
I think we're going to see a repeat of last generation. 360 was way ahead of PS3 for a while. And then, but by the end of the generation, they were pretty much neck and neck.
Worldwide. Yeah. Worldwide. But in our country, Microsoft still owned the...
Yeah, well, but... that was just like in Japan, PS3 stomped with 360.
Yeah.
So, but I think by the end of this generation, it's going to be pretty much the same way as last generation. Probably. Worldwide, console sales are probably pretty much even. And like you say, or like this guy said, right now PS4 is available in a lot more countries than Xbox.
And that's true. But another thing that you have to consider is the last console life cycle was longer than anything we've ever seen before. So that gave Sony a lot more time that they normally wouldn't.
I think this one's probably going to be pretty
similar. I hope so. I hope so, and I really do want it to be that way. But I could see if, let's say...
I would say 6-year minimum.
Easily.
Yeah, and 6 years is probably about spot on. I don't think it's going to be 10.
No. This past one was 8. I would say somewhere between 6 and 8.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to reach 8. I really don't. I think and we got to actually consider this still in the life cycle of last generation, because it's still kind of getting those games that are coming out for both consoles, and we're just now getting out of the phase where games are only coming out for the last gen. We're just getting out of that. So I guess, it depends where you really want to draw the line on the life cycle. So,
well,
if you want to draw it right when the new consoles came out,
it all depends on how sales go. If Xbox One catches up and PS4, and then towards the end they're neck and neck, it probably will drag out a little bit. It probably will.
Yeah.
But
you're right, because the loser is always going to start that next generation.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but if 6 years from now Xbox One is still, a good decent way behind, they probably will be interested in starting the next generation.
And hope Sony says we're fine where we're at.
I mean,
but that'll never happen, because if Microsoft comes out with one,
we're already going to have. If you want to take Nintendo into the equation, I would say the next generation could start within 3 years. I would say the Wii U is probably going to be distinguished in about 3 years. Well, they're going to move to the Wii 3 or whatever they're going to call it.
That's what I'm going to say. That's what I was just about to say. Are they going to be content with what they've already done and just kind of make the Wii U on par with Xbox One and PS4? Or are they going to go above and beyond and actually start the next generation?
It's Nintendo.
So you never know.
It's Nintendo. They will just probably make it close to, if not equal, with Xbox One and PS4.
Then technically they're not starting another generation.
No.
Technically,
it is for Nintendo.
They started this generation, even though the Wii U is on the same level as 360 and PS3. But if you ask journalists, anybody, they would say that Wii U was the first next generation console.
See, I would strongly disagree with that, because it's not a next generation console. Remember the magazine Next Generation?
Yeah.
Wii U would never make that. Nothing against Wii U. I think it's a decent console, and it does have some innovative things about it. I'm just saying, it's as far as hardware technology and raw guts, it is not a next gen console. It's a Nintendo next-gen console, but a Nintendo next-gen console is essentially a last-gen console.
Nintendo's never been about having the most powerful.
No, I know. They certainly haven't. Not since Nintendo 64 have they been about having a powerful console.
Yeah, they flaunted that.
Yeah. When Nintendo 64 came out and Wave Race hit my screen, I almost lost them all.
Yeah. Lost it.
It just dropped right out of the sack. But
right out of the sack.
Yeah, Nintendo 64 was the last time that they decided to do that, and they went a different direction since.
They did. But ever since then, I think they feel like they're kind of realized they're in their own little world, their own little niche.
And they are, and they hit gold with the Wii. They hit gold with the Wii because they managed to get into families and non-gamers, and bowling just took over the 50-year-old families, and But I think they're trying to make lightning strike twice, and I don't think it's possible.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
What can you do?
Because those people are still content with their Wii.
Exactly, you're right.
Oh, and then speaking of which, a little bit of news to go with that question. Xbox One is launching in China with 2 free games, and gold membership is going to be free until March 2015.
I want a free membership.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I guess they know China's going to be a hard market, so
they're like, here you go,
doing what they can.
It's going to be a very hard market.
All right, next on. Are all the games, including Halo 4, remastered to take advantage of Xbox One hardware in the Master Chief Collection? No. 1
and 2.
1 and 2 have been completely remastered. Now, Halo 3 and 4, the resolution has been up to 1080p and the frame rate to 60 frames per second, but they haven't redone all the textures and stuff like they have with Halo 1 and 2.
Just 1 and 2, which was a bummer when we initially discovered that, but there's so much content in that bundle.
And then considering Halo 3 and 4 were for 360, they've got HD textures already.
Yeah.
Halo 1 and 2 were for the original OG Xbox.
Right. I still would have liked to have seen Halo 3 get the full treatment.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Halo 4 doesn't need
already. It looks great.
Halo 4 is just spectacular in its own right, but it'll be fun though to play through Halo 2 again.
Any news on when we can stream movies in MP4 format from our hard drives? I would say I don't think that's going to happen.
I was going to say the same thing. I don't think it'll ever happen. Now they might come out with a Microsoft gosh, what was the name of it? The thing on 360 where you could connect to your computer.
Windows Media Center.
Windows Media Center. They might come out with some kind of adaptation for that to where you can stream your MP4s off your computer at some point.
And you can already pretty much do that with OneDrive.
Right, yeah, you can, but the question was off your hard drive, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Because even with 360, you could put music on there,
right?
But not movies.
That's right.
So, if anything, it'll be music.
So, to answer your question, no news, and don't expect it.
No. What gave you the idea for the name Frag Tag?
Gears of War.
Gears of War. Big Gears fans.
Especially you.
Yeah, especially me. And Alan Wake.
Well, you had to throw an Alan Wake shade in there. Had to throw an Alan Wake shout out there.
All right. What next gen titles are you most excited for? Jay, we'll start with you and move on around.
Of course, Inquisition. We'll stick with announced games. Inquisition's definitely one of them. I'm kind of getting excited for Mortal Kombat, which I know kind of sounds odd. Unity, of course. I've always been a big Assassin's Creed guy. Off the top of the head, I can't really. The Witcher, God, The Witcher looks so incredible. 3, yeah. I'm gonna throw one out there just because I know none of you two will. But the Phantom Pain, God, game looks insane. You?
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, that's. Oh gosh, what's the Remedy game?
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break's going to be incredible.
And the new Crackdown.
I knew you were going to say Crackdown.
All three of those. But most of all would be the new Gears of War whenever it finally comes.
Still a ways off.
Yeah.
But it's announced.
Yeah.
Matt?
I have to say Sunset Overdrive for sure. And what we're going to talk about later on is going to be Killer Instinct 2.
Season 2, yeah.
Yeah,
Season 2, yeah.
Or when Season 2. And I do actually want to play, was it The Division?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, how could we, any of us...
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I think you'd be nuts.
That should be all over.
Yeah, that's just a given. Goodness gracious. Oh, how about the new Rainbow Six?
Oh, yeah, Siege. Yeah.
Insane, man.
Crazy.
I think one thing that we can all agree on is that we are all about to be extremely spoiled with games over the next year.
Other than Aisha Tyler, that was the best part of Ubisoft's press conference.
You didn't like Aisha Tyler?
I said other than she was the other good part of that conference.
Oh. Because I just remember her talking. I get you now. Sorry, misunderstood you. Thought you were basically saying other than her, that was the best part. Like, screw her. It was the best part, but she sucked.
Oh, she was good.
Yeah, she kicks ass.
She was the best presenter at E3.
She always is tight with Ubisoft, and she was joking on Greg Miller hardcore in the IGN Live.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, she's a cool chick.
All right, let's see. Last question. Do you think Xbox One PS4 update will allow you to play game chat audio through the TV? As you could do that on 360.
Yeah.
We need an option like that as we had on previous consoles. I think
the Destiny beta gave you that option.
I think a lot of people, especially people who like to capture gameplay, they like to be able to capture their conversations while playing that game.
Didn't the Destiny beta have that option in the settings?
Destiny beta actually had a glitch to where when you entered into a party chat with someone, you couldn't talk with them. But there was a way to get past it. You had to, while you're playing Destiny, you get in the party with someone, and then you exit out of Destiny. And then after you exit out of Destiny with the party chat snapped, you open up another game, any game. I would do Crimson Dragon, whatever. And then when Crimson Dragon starts loading up, you unsnap the chat and then quickly go back to Destiny. And then you'd be able to talk.
That sounds like way too much.
Yeah. It's a glitch that they're going to have to fix before the final game. But yeah. And it happened every time.
But yeah, back to what you were saying. I believe if you played the Destiny beta, check in the settings. I think there's actually an option, not for the console itself, but in the Destiny beta.
As far as hardware, I would say if enough people ask for it, it'll definitely happen.
They've done a good job of giving people what they wanted.
Yeah. All right. So and then with that, shout outs to those who sent in their opinions on Destiny beta and questions. Juan Leon, shout out. Jack Sharp, Christopher Stone, Bert M, Knights of Honor, the Gamer Cave, Danny, Ollie Stout, and Breaking Bad Gaming. Shouts to all those guys. All right, and with that, we can move on to the news. Xbox One monthly updates are planned all the way through October.
I cannot wait for the digital pre-orders.
Digital pre-orders coming.
I can't, because that means hopefully that I'll get pre-order bonuses, because as you know, I buy all my games digitally now, so I don't do pre-ordering. I basically said screw GameStop, and
yeah, I agree.
I love not having to go pick up a game at midnight, and I cannot wait until you can preload games and pre-order them.
You don't miss those Airhead Hooters girls at the midnight releases?
I don't miss anything about the midnight releases.
The long lines?
I don't miss anything.
The horrible GameStop employees?
Remember that guy that got so mad because you got there you got there at like 9 o'clock, and I showed up at like 11:55, and you were like second in line, and you're like, hey, just come over here, and I just stepped in front of you. What game was that? And the guy was like, man, this is some bullshit, man. I was like, well, he'll hold my place for me.
It was probably a Call of Duty, maybe a Halo.
No, it was Halo. It was Halo Reach.
Halo Reach?
I think.
Halo Reach, Halo 4, who knows?
Halo.
I know me and Matt went to the midnight release.
It might have been Gears of War. It might have been Gears of War 3.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I mean, this was a long time ago, but who cares?
Your memory's better than mine. Social features. Have you gotten their most recent preview update yet? It's pretty cool how they're pretty much turning it into it reminds me a lot of Twitter.
Yeah.
There's a feed, and you can go in there and you can like people's stuff.
Like their videos and stuff too.
You can share it to your feed. Yeah. So if you post a video that I like, I can share it on my feed. So it's almost like a mixture of the best of Facebook and the best of Twitter. And
that's good because
got the likes from Facebook and the following and the sharing / retweeting of Twitter.
Well, that's really cool because there's actually a way to see how many people have viewed. Like I can see how many people have viewed
your videos now.
Yeah. You could do it 6 months ago when the Xbox first came out. You just had to use Smart Glass. Yeah. And when you went to a video, somebody else, you know how you can look at other people's gamer videos? It showed you on Smart Glass. But yeah, it was super, you had to do some run around shit. But it's, I like it. I like it a lot because now you can see how many people are watching your videos and they can actually like it. Yeah. I wish
share it. Comment on it. You can
there needs to be a like and a middle finger.
You can also comment on videos now. If someone locks an achievement that's cool, you can comment on anything. And another thing that's cool is when you're sending a message, you can attach a video to a message now, which I think is pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
They do need to add back the voice messages.
I know.
If they're not going to come out with a chat pad, bring back the voice messages.
Yeah, because typing. I know you can hook up a keyboard, but
on 360, I used to hate when people would send me voice messages. I'm like, are you too lazy to type, muffin? But that's because everybody had a chat pad.
Yeah.
Now that it's like I would kill for voice messages right now if I can't have a chat pad.
Or just give us a chat pad.
I would love to have the chat. I'd rather have the chat pad, but I think we're more likely to get voice messages than we are chat pad.
Somebody will make a chat pad, even if it's
aftermarket.
Yeah, could be.
But see, it would. I don't know. Maybe.
It's just too obvious. There's always peripherals, unnecessary peripherals. So we're going to see it, whether it's an official licensed Microsoft product or a Mad Catz product.
Someone's going to do it.
Someone's going to do it. Nyko.
Someone's going to do it. Microsoft abandons Xbox TV push in order to focus on games, mobile, and cloud.
It's going to be called Microsoft.
Now, that's pretty crazy how they shut down Xbox Entertainment Studios.
Yeah.
They had just opened it up a little over a year ago.
Very weird. And I told you, if you remember, when we first started talking about this Xbox, if you remember, I raised the question, how the hell are they going to make money? Because it costs so much money from what they were planning to do and said they were going to do. It would cost so much money. And I never saw where they were going to get that money back.
That's true.
I think they were disappointed by the view numbers for Every Street United.
Maybe so, but again...
And no offense to soccer, but not many people like it here in America.
True.
And if they wanted to get a lot of views, they should have started with a better goddamn show.
You would say that, but I know the World Cup just had the biggest draw ever.
That's because it's the World Cup. Lots of people hate football, but they watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I can see what they were thinking is, Europe, I'm sure it's a big hit in Europe.
Oh, I'm sure
I'm sure it's a big hit in South America.
No one in China cared. No one in Japan cared.
I watch it.
No one in Canada probably cared.
I'm sure it's just not. They had to.
Soccer guy, the only big soccer fan.
But again, that's not. It didn't cost them tons of money to make Every Street United. That's not really what I was worried about.
Aren't those two guys who were on that show?
Terry
big-time
Henry and
soccer
Edgar
players?
Davids. Yeah, they are.
I'm sure they got a nice check.
I'm sure they did, but they didn't have to have big action scenes in this. In Every Street United, they had a guy walking around with a camera.
Well, they had more interesting shows in mind. One was the dude. He was like he used to be a Marine, or the equivalent of a Marine in Australia, but he lost his leg. But even though he's got a prosthetic leg, he still does stuff that like crazy stuff, like Bear Grylls type ish.
I can tell you.
And like what, like the preview they show was him like parachuting into a burning forest, and he was about to go in there and put that shit out. I wanted to see that. That was pretty awesome.
I can guarantee that they didn't shut down Xbox Live Entertainment because of their very first shows.
I'm also not big on rap these
Viewing
days,
numbers.
but they were all supposed to be doing a show based on Nas's life.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And he was supposed to do a lot of the music for the show. I was looking forward to that as well.
They came in and shut it down, and maybe it has something to do with they're just trying to trim fat that they don't think is going to help.
I think you're probably right.
If they take that money and they put it towards games, I'm all for it.
And that seems to be. I mean, I never really was. I was behind it, and I thought there were some good ideas there, but I never saw how it was going to be beneficial to Microsoft.
I'm wondering if Sony's going to abandon their TV stuff now too. Because after Microsoft started doing it, they were like, me too. And now they've adopted that Power show.
Right, but
and
there's
some
a
other
difference.
stuff that they're doing as
There
well.
is a difference there, though. Sony is already hugely engraved with Sony Entertainment.
Yeah,
they make movies.
Yeah.
They do that. They have it all already installed. Whereas Microsoft was kind of, even though they were the guys that had the idea for it, they didn't have the subsidiaries of Sony like Sony does. They have everything in place at Sony already. They don't have to spend tons and tons of money.
The good news is projects that are already underway are going to be finished, including the Atari documentary.
That's good, yeah, they're finishing that.
And
so not the Nas?
No. Well, at least they haven't confirmed that they're still working on that. I haven't even seen a mention of the Nas thing since it was first announced. So I'm thinking no.
Scrapped, yeah.
Really would have enjoyed that.
Me too. But yeah, and both of the Halo projects, the Halo Nightfall movie, being done by Ridley Scott, and the Halo TV series, that's Steven Spielberg. Both of those are being done.
Yeah, but does that mean we're only going to see the Halo TV series season 1 and then it's going to be over? They're just going to finish what they've...
I imagine if it does well, they'll do another one.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll wait for it.
Because they said even though they're closing Xbox Entertainment Studios, they're keeping on the key people, Nancy Tellem and a bunch of other people, to oversee similar projects and finish up the projects that are already under production. So, it's Halo. I'm sure if it does well, we'll see something similar. Yeah. Especially if there's a cliffhanger at the end of the first season.
Wow, there's been plenty of shows with cliffhangers
at
the end of the first season.
That's
that
what
have
I'm
been
saying.
Cut.
If we watch this first season and at the end of the last episode of the first season, it's obvious the show's over by the ending of that episode.
Well,
then I would say probably no season 2. Yeah. But if there's a giant cliffhanger, then I would say chances of season 2 are pretty good.
Again, I've seen
it all depends on the show itself.
There's been lots of shows I've liked. The cliffhangers have come, and then there's just like season 2 has been canceled, and you're like, what?
Well, that happened with Firefly, which was a great show.
Yeah,
Firefly didn't even get to finish its first season.
It didn't. No, they had kind of finished up in a minute.
Didn't even air the last 3 episodes.
No,
You had to buy the DVD.
Then the DVD finished it up pretty much.
And then they had the movie Serenity, which was
the end.
All right. Free-to-play MMO Neverwinter is coming to Xbox One. Available at launch in China, coming to other territories later next year. I think this is a big win for Xbox because Neverwinter is one of the biggest MMOs out there.
Yeah. It's been around for a while.
Seeing that coming to Xbox One is pretty cool. And this is from Perfect World. The same studio that does Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
This is good news to me because it makes me think it's even more likely that we will get Star Trek Online on Xbox One. And I would just cream all over this desk if that happened.
I might be there with you. That'd be really fun.
All over it.
It'd be awesome, man.
Tuvok's in the game, Captain Janeway, Picard, Worf, Geordi, Data, Q. They've done all the original voices. All the original voice actors.
That's gonna be cool.
I really want to play that on my Xbox One. If anyone important is listening, please
put it
make that happen and bring Star Trek Online to Xbox One. Pinball FX2 delayed until later this month for Xbox One, but they delayed it because they're implementing the ability to import your tables from 360 to Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
So now all the Pinball FX tables I bought on 360, I can import them to Xbox One.
That's good.
Which is good because I was not going to buy them all.
No.
I bought like 40 tables on 360. I was
Yeah.
not buying all those again. That was like $100 worth of tables, if not more.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 4 brings back this is our Mass Effect 4 discussion. Brings back the Mako. Set during the Commander Shepard era. Main character is in 7 operative. We're running into familiar faces, possible but not a given. Now, I'm wondering how are they going to do a Mass Effect set at the same time as Commander Shepard? You know why? Because the Reaper threat is the big threat in that time frame.
True.
And whatever our new character does can't have anything to do with that.
If you notice, he was very specific when he answered the question that girl that was dressed up in the outfit said. She said, will it be, it said the Commander Shepard era, but that doesn't mean during those events. And he failed to say whether it would be before or after the events of Shepard. Yeah. Only that it would be during the Commander Shepard era, which leads me to believe that technically Shepard, spoiler, dies. Still the Commander Shepard era because it's the events that were all a part of him. You know, so I don't think I would read too much into that yet. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying. It would raise major questions.
And put tons of holes in the plot line.
Yeah, it would. It would. But then again, we've only ever been in the Milky Way galaxy. They could go to a whole completely different galaxy, and nobody even knows what's going on in the Milky Way galaxy because they've never heard of it. So they could also go that route.
True.
But they did say humans were going to be a big part of it. So if it's humans, it has to be in the Milky Way galaxy. That's true. Unless there's another planet like Earth somewhere else. But we're getting into a whole new can of worms there. So, but yeah.
How do you feel about the Mako coming back?
I like it. You know why? Because he said that you're going to need some way to explore all these vast areas. So it leads me to believe that unlike the previous Mass Effects, there's going to be big open worlds that you're going to have to get from point A to point B on.
And actually be able to explore rather than just scan a planet and drop a probe to try and mine.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's going
to... Although that minigame was strangely addicting. You don't know how many planets I dropped probes
oh my gosh.
Trying to mine for ores and stuff.
Hours!
Yeah.
It was strangely addicting.
Strangely addicting. So. And all you did was press a button.
You wait till the wavelengths matched up, then you launch that thing.
Oh, weird.
Definitely strangely addicting.
Walking Dead Season 3 gets the green light. May not feature Clementine.
Yeah, right.
You don't think so?
No feature Clementine.
You sure?
I'm not sure. Because she could die in episode 5.
Yeah. She could. Have you been playing Season 2?
No, not yet. Waiting for the next gen version. But
you think it's going to be graphically superior? Or something?
No, I just want to have it. No, I don't want to buy the game twice. I want to have it on my Xbox One.
Okay. All right. I'm accepting.
Thanks. Appreciate you accepting that.
Grand Theft Auto 5 Xbox One release date possibly added for November 7th. I think that sounds right.
Also, don't have to wait months in between episodes.
That is a pain.
I want Game of Thrones to come out though. Dagnabbit. I know.
And the Borderlands one.
Yeah.
Both of them are going to be good.
I know. Game of Thrones is going to be so good.
I think both of them, I'm going to try and wait till it's all over and then just play all 5 episodes at once.
Would like to do that.
That's what I've done with this season of The Walking Dead also. I haven't played any of the episodes yet. I did watch Matt play one of the episodes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But,
well, you know,
Wolf Among Us is different though. I've been trying to play Wolf Among Us as it went along. I played the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. And then so now all the episodes are
That's
out.
what I did.
So now I can play the last 2 or 3 episodes in a row.
I played the first 2, and then we decided to wait on the next 3. And but with Game of Thrones, there's no way I'll be able to wait. No way.
No way.
You know how big of a Game of Thrones.
Oh, I know. You go to websites like Winter is Coming, and
that's right.
I love Game of Thrones, but I've never cared to.
I like to get the casting news.
See what they're doing in their private lives.
No, like
what they have for dinner.
Who
yesterday.
they've cast for certain roles, not like
Dr. Bashir from Star Trek.
Yes,
He's coming to Game of Thrones.
He's Doran Martell, Oberyn's brother, and that's a huge role. It's a huge role.
Really?
He's also in Da Vinci's Demons. If any of y'all have ever seen that, he's also from 24.
I was reading that news on StarTrek.com the other day. I meant to tell you about it. I forgot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Dr. Bashir on Game of Thrones.
I might be doing
Crazy.
Awesome. in work still.
We might be doing a TV podcast. I mean, not podcast, but segment soon. We've talked about it.
Possibly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The TV. Yeah. Possibly some TV episodes midweek coming. We'll see. No promises. EA would like to release Star Wars Battlefront close to the Star Wars Episode 7 movie. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does. Ride the wave.
Yeah. That'd be best way to make the most money.
Certainly.
And I think that also pretty much gives us an idea of what, because I think they're going to release it right around the same time as the movie. I don't think they'd like to. I think they're going to.
Yeah.
Titanfall now has in-game currency. Players can buy the burn packs, but microtransactions not in the card. So we actually got done with this yesterday.
Yeah.
I was showing you the burn packs.
And they're specific to certain areas, which is cool.
Yeah. It could be your tactical ability, or XP, ordnance, or XP, or Titan related, or whatever. So let's take this time to talk about the new maps. Dig Site, which is probably my least favorite of the three, although still a good map.
I didn't care for that one either.
It's a darker map. There's nothing but rock everywhere. No, that's Destiny. Drills and all sorts of stuff like that around.
That one.
It was kind of bland, like the environment of Destiny.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I thought it was the weakest of the three maps. Moving on. Export is like a miniature city, but it's also like a drilling site, like on the water.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Sort of. Which was a pretty cool map. Lots of tall structures. Good for wall running. But the best map is Haven. This takes place in a city that's on the beach.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
And it's been untouched by this war between the IMC and the militia because all the round tables and benches and chairs, they're all still perfectly set up, and none of the buildings are damaged. Everything is just, it's a glistening paradise.
Yeah. Glistening paradise.
It is. That's probably my favorite of the three maps. Mainly because it's good for no matter what mode you're playing. Last Titan standing all the way to capture the flag. Yeah. It's really good for all three game modes.
I have to get down on it.
I'll be on there tonight if you want to play. Take it as a no. Dragon Age Inquisition delayed 6 weeks.
I shook my head, yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. So now launching November 18th.
The Keep just got delayed too,
as well.
Yeah, and I'm in the beta, so I hope
kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think about that 6 week delay?
I think it's fine. I know that there were some.
Do you think they were just doing it to avoid the October month?
I think that they just wanted to get 3-4 weeks of extra polish on the game before. I think that they just want to make absolutely certain that this game is up to par because they don't want to have the critics of Dragon Age 2 coming back on them, that the game was rushed and not ready. Now, I really think that's all it is. I think 6 weeks makes a huge difference when you're talking about from the completion of a game to polish time.
Right.
And, that's what I believe. And I'm fine with it. I can wait 6 more weeks. I've waited God knows how long already.
Well, actually, we'll only have to wait 5 because of EA Access.
Good point.
State of Decay coming to Xbox One. Twitter answers point to yes. This is from the developers. They pretty much said not so many words that it'll be coming to Xbox One, which is good because I wanted to play all that DLC that came out for State of Decay, but never got around to it. I actually never even finished the very end of State of Decay.
Yeah, neither did I.
But I wanted to. I still want to. And bringing it to Xbox One is a great way to make me do that. So, Borderlands 3 will happen, says Gearbox. The question is when.
No. Really?
It's gonna happen.
Holy crap!
You didn't know?
No,
you didn't know it was gonna happen?
No. I thought that they were just gonna give the rights to Telltale and let them make story games for the rest of the time and never make another game again. After the pre-sequel.
They need to make it good because Gearbox has been having a lot of trouble.
Not Crytek trouble, apparently.
No, but they've made a lot of horrible games. Borderlands is really the only good game they have.
They hit gold with that one, though. Which is why they're going to run that baby into the ground.
And that's why we have the pre-sequel coming out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
So. And at first they were saying it wasn't going to come to next-gen consoles, but now they're saying it probably will. They just can't do it.
Yeah. They're going to...
If there's money to be made, it's coming.
there might be a pre-sequel sequel.
How do you feel about retailer-specific pre-order bonuses?
I hate them.
Are you excited about the Assassin's Creed Unity retailer-specific bonuses?
I'm going to have to do like I did on previous Assassin's Creeds, like Assassin's Creed 3, and get like 3 copies of the game and do my return trick.
That's pretty much what I did was I bought 2 copies of the game for myself, returned 1 to Walmart. 1 copy I bought for my son for Christmas and just took his code. And then another copy I bought...
Ganked his code.
Another copy I bought...
Just took his code.
For my brother-in-law and took his code.
Just ganking codes, man.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of are starting to get smart about the return trick because a lot of them are in the freaking case now.
Yeah. Well, and then also Walmart will only let you return so many games in the period of a year now. And they scan your ID whenever you return a game. And if you've returned too many games... they won't let you return it. Doesn't matter if you have the receipt still in the wrap or
Where'd you
not.
do that at?
Oh, really?
I've returned a lot of games from Walmart.
Apparently.
You got red flag at Walmart.
In the name of getting DLC.
And what if, I mean, I've done that quite a few times too, but daggone, dude, they actually told you, like, this is the limit?
They told Beth I can go up there with my ID and do it. I usually have Beth do it, but her ID is no good no more. Not for this year.
Maxed out.
Yeah. Kayla's ID, I maxed that one out too, so I'm the only one who can do it now.
Wow.
After that, I'll start taking Solomon up there. Be like, this guy.
Oh, Lord. Anyway.
Skylanders Trap Team Dark Edition revealed. Will include the Ultimate Chaos Trap, exclusive black and silver versions of Snapshot, Wildfire, and Food Fight, a 2-sided Collector's Edition poster, sticker sheets, and trading cards. Definitely getting this for me and Solomon, no question about it. We're looking forward to Trap Team. I think it's really cool how you'll be able to trap Chaos and play as Chaos now in the story.
Yeah, that's me and Lucas are gonna look forward to playing that too. Actually,
I'm sure Steve will be on there with y'all.
And that'll be his game of the year for 2014, probably. But that's neither here nor there. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Collector's Edition revealed. Interestingly, they have a $120 Collector's Edition, but it doesn't have night vision goggles. It doesn't have an RC car. It's actually just all digital content. And I think that's the way Collector's Editions should be done.
I agree. I've always... we want the end game
I don't want statues.
yeah.
I don't want RC cars. I don't want cheap night vision goggles. I like steelbook cases. But beyond that, and there is a steelbook case. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather have DLC for the game. Meaningful content, especially if it's multiplayer that I can show off while I'm playing so other people can know that guy got the Collector's Edition and I didn't. You know?
Calm down.
I know, really, right?
You know? So
that guy got the Collector's Edition. I didn't.
That's right.
All right, getting kind of hype about your Collector's Edition.
Want people to know. All right, so for $80, you get the Atlas Edition, which has the game, steelbook case, physical manual. You don't see many of those anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I was about to say.
And then digital goods. A digital download of the game soundtrack, 2 weapons, an upgrade for the military exoskeleton in single player, and more. Now, you also get the Atlas Gorge multiplayer map, which is a reimagining of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare's pipeline map. Now,
that already sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
that's the version
that's for just 80. For 120, you get all that and the season pass, which is pretty much
actually that's just the same thing with a season pass.
Yeah,
I mean, because you're paying. It's about the price of season pass would cost.
You're saving $10 on the season pass.
$10, yeah.
Which, buying the season pass, you're already saving another 10. So
true, yeah.
I don't do season passes.
I do.
Buy it separately, baby.
You didn't get the season pass for Titanfall?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Wow, it was only $20.
I know, that's the problem.
Oh, it's too much.
No, it was too little. I have to buy it separately. You gotta spend those $10 on each map pack.
Well, what about EA revealing Xbox One exclusive subscription service, EA Access?
That it's really exciting for me. I was an EA Sports club owner, so I always got the Maddens and the FIFAs 3 days early.
Maddens and the FIFAs.
I always got them 3 days early. Now it's 5 days early plus 10% off digital downloads when you buy all your games digitally. That rocks. DLC. You also get a revolving rotation of games that you get to play.
Once the game's in the vault, it stays in the vault.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. So you'll basically own those games.
Yep.
As long as you're an EA Sports or EA Access member.
Yeah. They said once they put a game in the vault, it will stay in the vault. They will never take that game out.
Because they made it sound like it was going to rotate when they said it, because it would be it was a constant. It said like a constant stream of games. So it made it kind of sound like it was going to rotate. That's nice. That's good news. Yeah. I would do it for FIFA and Madden and Dragon Age alone.
Now, granted, the games they put in the vault are going to be old by the time they put them in there.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean,
but Battlefield 4 is not that bad. It's a year old.
Yeah.
So I would say, getting games for free that are a year old isn't that bad. And if you're a budget gamer, I would say you could get Xbox Gold membership, EA Access, and never buy another game ever again. Be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
that. $30 a year.
Yeah.
Or, well, if you include your Xbox Gold membership, you're talking $80 a year.
Yeah. And then you get 2 free gold games a month.
Yeah.
Plus whatever games they throw in EA Access every month.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
Oh.
That's thrifty shopper.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
All right, and then Matterafact, super excited about this.
Killer Instinct 2.
Yes.
Classic.
Finally.
Well, Killer Instinct Classic 2.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah.
And then Season 2 was obviously been outed.
Yeah, and what I guess this time, we already know TJ Combo.
Killer Instinct 2 has never been on consoles.
Well,
that was arcade only.
It was Killer Instinct
Gold was basically
64.
Yeah.
It was like a.
But that wasn't Killer Instinct 2.
It wasn't.
That was a modified, changed up version of Killer Instinct 2.
I mean, it was still pretty much. The frame rates, of course, were different. The backgrounds.
It gave you everything Killer Instinct 2 did.
The gameplay was pretty much the same. I mean, you say the original Killer Instinct arcade compared to the Super Nintendo version.
I also think the cast of characters was a little bit different between the two also.
Oh, between the arcade.
Gold had more characters,
Gold had more, but they kind of added a few new ones that were just not. It took me a while to get used to them, like Tusk, Maya, Kim. Mm-hmm. They just didn't seem like your standard fare of Killer Instinct characters. But now they're all coming back.
They're definitely standard fare now, 10 years.
Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, I grew to like them. I got to be pretty good with Maya.
I just want to see Cinder. Bring Cinder back.
I forgot about Cinder. Yeah, well,
he's supposedly coming.
Yeah.
Well, we know he's going to be in there somewhere.
He was teased at the end of the TJ Combo trailer.
Yeah.
So he's definitely coming. Of course, TJ Combo.
Riptor, where's Riptor?
I haven't seen him yet.
Well,
Tusk, is going to be
Cinder, TJ Combo, and Maya are confirmed.
Yeah.
And Tusk and Cinder
and
Riptor are rumored to be the other 3. And then
there's Cinder twice.
There's going to be 2 new characters also.
Say that again, because I think you said Cinder twice.
I think, yeah.
You said Cinder in the confirmed and the rumored.
TJ Combo.
Right. Maya.
Cinder.
Okay.
And then Tusk.
Riptor.
And then you said Cinder again, which we're missing somebody.
There's another...
Orbis?
Another girl.
Orbis?
Who's the other girl?
Not
Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, no, what was a gargoyle? Gargus.
Gargoyle, yeah.
Gargus.
Yeah, something like that.
Chances of him are not good.
Idol.
Chances of him not good either. They were like enemies, bosses.
That's what I'm saying. But
yeah, you could play as Gargos.
Yeah, you could play as Gargos.
Yeah.
And yeah. That's why I said him. But there's going to be 2 new characters just to keep it fresh. So moving on. Very excited about all things Killer Instinct around here.
Loving it. Got those Mad Catz Tournament Edition 2 fight sticks.
Yeah, true.
Pick them up if you haven't. Battlefield Hardline delayed till 2015.
We were talking about this on the phone, and it's kind of alarming because why would EA have
it means the beta wasn't that great.
Yeah, it does. But why? It would take so much for EA to take a blockbuster out of the holiday season with nothing to replace it. I mean, I know they have Inquisition, but
I think to me that speaks volumes of EA's new stance on only releasing quality games and giving their teams the time they need to finish.
They have always had a very bad rep about that,
right? And lately they've been changing that up.
That's good.
They gave Bioware as much time as they wanted with Dragon Age Inquisition. Now they're even letting them delay it 6 weeks at the last minute. They're
I
moving.
guarantee
They're
you, if
moving.
Bioware would have said, "Hey, we need till after Christmas for this," it would have never flew.
Well, especially, probably not since they're already delaying Battlefield.
Yeah.
They need that. They need that Dragon Age money now.
Yeah. They would have picked between one or the other.
That Dragon Age money.
Yeah, and then so Battlefield, they're letting them delay that till next year. They've just been letting their teams take their time on stuff, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a better policy.
Although I know Battlefield fans everywhere were probably saddened by that news.
Sure they were.
I gotta admit, after the E3 trailer of Hardline, it got me.
The E3 trailer looked a lot better than the beta did.
It's a beta. Let's cut it a little slack. I mean,
It's hard to cut it slack. It was that bad.
It deserves some slack as far as I feel like they probably tried to rush a beta out there in time for E3 so they could get the hype from the trailer and stuff, and it wasn't ready. I'm sure that's the case. But I have no doubt that DICE will get it straight.
Eventually.
Yeah, so, I mean, with it being delayed, I'm okay. I'm still not giving up on this game.
I'm not giving up on it. I'm just saying. I mean, no one's giving up on it. Damn it, they delayed it. They'll never get to this game. I don't care when it comes out.
No, it just sounded like
up on it.
It just sounded like the way you were talking about the
So
beta. Screw it. No, it just sounded like by the way you were talking about the beta that you were like, "Screw this game, I'm going home."
The beta was bad.
I'm going home.
But I have no doubt they'll be able to fix it, especially since they gave them a ton of extra time.
Yeah.
I mean, next year's a while. And they didn't specify when next year.
I know.
Which, that's another thing that makes me worry about it.
We might see Gears next.
Because, I mean, I could see them, delaying it till 2015, but be like February 2015. Yeah. But they just said next year. They didn't even say month.
I know. One last thing before we close out the show. Microsoft is supposed to have a big Gamescom. Supposed to have
big games.
Yeah, and it's
I saw that they had big plans. I actually tweeted it yesterday.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be at like 3 a.m. in the morning too, which sucks for somebody that wants to watch it.
Quantum Break is being a complete gameplay reveal,
and also they said there will be major surprises.
Major surprise. Some new IPs, games announcements. I'm hoping.
We can only hope.
So that's what that competition does for you, because normally Microsoft says screw Gamescom.
I know, yeah, and that goes back to what we're saying. So, show over. Okay, we're done. Peace.
Frag Attack Radio.